What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and today is the first day where I'm releasing a video and I have over 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed to this channel and that helps me grow every day of my life on YouTube. It's been great so far. I mean, I've only been on YouTube since I think it was like the end of June, and now not even before December. You know, my goal was to get to 1,000 before the new year, and look what happened. I think I got like 100 subs in the last 24 hours. It's been crazy. I don't even know how to, I guess, thank you guys. But, we got another video today, and, about that 1,000, I'm thinking about something that I could do for a, celebration, something like that. I might play some 2K with you guys, some of the subscribers. We can get in touch, but more on that later. Today we're going to be talking about Zach Lavine, and I'm continuing my Just How Good series. By the way, I'm going to be out of town for Thanksgiving break, so the videos might be pre-recorded, and I'm trying to get one every day, but I can't promise anything, so that's just a heads up. Zach Lavine. I just want to get into this. The Minnesota Timberwolves are looking scary, and I'm not saying about what their talent looks like right now. It's because their best players are all super young, all have incredible potential, and are all guys that can play. Now, when we talk about Zach Lavine, I already did a video for Karl Anthony Towns. I already did a video for Andrew Wiggins. If you haven't seen them, please go check those out. Those actually, I believe they did really well. Zach Lavine is the third guy. And a lot of people forget about this guy. When people think about the Minnesota Timberwolves, you think about Karl Anthony Towns. You think about Andrew Wiggins. Two guys who've been playing absolutely stellar so far in this 2016-17 NBA season. However, Zach Lavine is a guy that a lot of people forget about. A lot of people just don't realize how good this guy is. They don't realize that he can play, and he does a lot for you, and it's just not, people don't see it. And we can all get obsessed in how great Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns are. It's not hard to. I mean, those guys are so good. They attract so much attention on the basketball court. They do. Probably more than Zach Lavine, because he's the third best player on that team. But it's very easy to undervalue a guy like this. And let's talk about what we know Zach Lavine for. This is a guy that everybody thought of coming into the league. This guy was a dunk machine. The most athletic player in the 2014 NBA draft, they were saying. And he came in the same draft as Andrew Wiggins, and Andrew Wiggins won that Rookie of the Year. And people were saying, they were like, Zach Lavine's a decent player, but he's a dunker. He's been in the dunk contest twice now, I believe, right? He was in his second year, and now, I think, in each of his first two seasons, he was in the dunk contest. Yeah, that's right, because he's only in his third year. I don't know what happened there. Zach Lavine has won the dunk contest in his first 2 years. He has never played an NBA season without winning the dunk contest in the same year. So, small sample size, but y'all get what I'm saying. And he's definitely going to be there again this year, I'm pretty sure. The guy's a 6'5". They list him as a point guard, except, I'd say he's a shooting guard. 6'5" shooting guard. He's 185. He's very skinny. He doesn't have that much bulk, but he's incredibly athletic. He's not super skinny. He's not like Brandon Ingram. But, he's not really strong. But it's fine, because as a shooting guard, he probably won't be guarding the super strong players in the NBA. The guys like LeBron, that's probably handled by a guy named Andrew Wiggins, who also plays for this team. So, Zach Lavine is lightweight, I guess you could say, because he flies. I mean, this guy absolutely, when he gets off the ground, he doesn't stop flying. He just goes to the cup and dunks the ball with such grace. It's not like something you've seen before. He can power dunk the ball too. I mean, we've seen that as well. But this guy just has some other dynamic to him, and it's crazy. But there's so much else he can do. And that's why I'm making this video. Because we all know that Zach Lavine can dunk the basketball. We all know that his athleticism is off the charts, that when he retires, he has a chance. And I'm saying a chance to be the game's greatest dunker we've ever seen. No, I'm not saying that in stone. Vince Carter is still right there, at the top of that. He's the dunker. He's the best dunker of all time, if you ask me. And it shouldn't really be that disputed, if you ask me. Zach Lavine could be up there. He really could. But, as I've said many times, he's got other stuff to his game. So far this season in 10 games, he's averaging 19 points per game. And actually, these stats are not including last night's game, because this is pre-recorded and I don't have those stats updated. But before last night's game, 10 games and he was averaging 19 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, shooting 45% from the field, 43% from the 3-point line, and he's making 3 a game. So it's no shortage of 3-point shots. He's doing work. And the Wolves, they don't look all that great right now. And they got to back up all that potential. They've got to unleash it. They've got to just be consistent. That's what they've struggled with. They've had great games some nights and awful games other nights. And against the Grizzlies, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't score. They just couldn't. And the Grizzlies are a lockdown defensive team this year. They held Dallas to like 62 points or something the other night. They can do it. Zach Lavine, I mentioned the 3-point percentage. That's not something that we knew about him. We knew he had a 3-point shot that he was working on that was a little inconsistent. Now, 43% from the 3-point line. He shot 39% from there last year, so we know he can hit that. He was 45% from the field last year. He's efficient. This is not a guy that's going to chuck up shots. He only took 12 a game. This year, he's upped his field goal attempts to almost 15 per game, but he's efficient on them, so it's all good. And his turnovers are way, way lower than they used to be. He came in his rookie year, he averaged 25 minutes a game, and he committed 2.5 turnovers a game. Now this year, in those first 10 games, he only committed 1 turnover a game. He's been fantastic in that regard. And, the only thing that I see that's an immediate concern for this guy is probably his defensive ability. He's not very strong over there on a team. With Tom Thibodeau as a coach, I think he can definitely improve dramatically in that area. Also, you might see his assist numbers down. I just think that's because he might not be looking to set up guys as much, maybe because he's not really playing point guard anymore. It's all about Ricky Rubio is really the point guard now, and Andrew Wiggins is getting the ball a lot more. Towns is getting post entries. It's harder to get assists on this team. If you're a guy like Lavine, he's probably not touching it as much as he used to. And the rebounds are up, which is good. He's contributing more. He's playing more like a shooting guard, and that's fine because I think his scoring is going to go up with it. This big 3 for the Minnesota Timberwolves can be a lot like the big 3 for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and maybe even better, because once they get, it could be a super team. It really could. When you think of Wiggins, Lavine, and Lavine is like your Harden kind of in this situation. If he really gets good under them, he's the type of guy that has, that type of potential. Not saying that he could average a triple-double, but what I'm saying is that James Harden, before he was on Houston, he was the kind of guy where he was going to score. He was a pretty good passer too. He was 6'5", Lavine's height. He could play both point guard or shooting guard, just like Lavine. And he was really more a scorer than anything else. He goes to Houston and he completely changes his game. I think Zach Lavine has that type of thing. Maybe not to the same degree with his passing or rebounding, but you never know. James Harden came out of nowhere with that stuff, and we had no idea he had it. Now, Wiggins and Towns could be like a Westbrook KD duo, and that's actually possible because one was picked the year after the other. They both won Rookie of the Year. I don't think Westbrook won Rookie of the Year, but KD did. They were great. These guys can be just that good, even better, I think. And Zach Lavine, he can be the third guy, and he's that good that if he would go to another team, he would be insane, I think, if he develops for a couple of years like James Harden did. I think that's a really good comparison to make. Not exactly how they play, but how good he's going to be, or how good he could be. Which means if he's to stay with the Timberwolves in his prime, I could see this guy putting up 22, 23 a game alongside Towns and Wiggins, maybe. But that would be crazy because, they have to score a lot too. I think 20 points per game at them would be insane. And I'm only saying that because he's already playing with a Karl-Anthony Towns and an Andrew Wiggins. Also, if he's to leave that team, then I could see him putting up 26 a game, something like that. I think he has that scoring in him. So far this season, 19 points per game. Who's to say that if he goes to another team where, they want to build around him, that he couldn't put up 25 plus per night and then maybe chip in with 5 or 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and then start building that up like James Harden did. I don't know why, but I'm in love with that comparison right now. I think that's a great comparison, at least, how good these guys are. I'm not saying how they play because, Zach Lavine could develop into that kind of player, but they don't move around the same. They have different, the way they move, I just said the same thing twice, but Basically, you guys should get the point. Zach Lavine, I expect big things from this guy. It's only his 3rd year in the league. This guy is super young. He's 21 years old. I mean, everyone on that Timberwolves team. Don't forget Chris Dunn. I mean, that guy, he hasn't played all that good so far, but he's got time to develop. He can be a part of that Timberwolves dynasty. I think that's going to be a dynasty. Yes, it's scary over there. And Zach Lavine is in his development. Tom Thibodeau is a good coach for him. I think, at least, when you look at the defensive side of things, there's no reason why this team can't be great and why Zach Lavine can't be great. Thanks for watching, y'all. That's going to do it for this video. Yeah, I mean, this shit is really what I'm doing now. If you have an idea for an NBA video, please leave it down below. I'm not going to do all the ideas I see, but I always see them, so I can consider them. I have a list of where I, write down my ideas, and if I have a day where I'm not doing anything, hey, I could do that. So, yeah, that's definitely in consideration. So, yeah, please leave a like down below. Helps the YouTube grind. Subscribe. Add to that 1K count. Get me to 2K. That's the new goal. We're going to go little by little, build our way up on YouTube. Comment an idea down below, as I said, and I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.